Hello Virgo, thank you very much for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, I'm using Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Already shuffled. Let's go ahead and see. Okay. So, heading for a change, is it good, is it bad, is a good question. We'll have to get a little farther. Where you're ending up is, oddly enough, the Five of Swords, but you're starting at a good place, and it may be that things aren't changing enough that it really disrupts your life. Let's keep going a little farther, because the way you're coming into this is the High Priestess with the Sun card, which for those of you that this is really matching for, the situation that you're dealing with, for the most part, you really enjoy. You're really happy with it. For some of you, it's work. For others of you, it's family. But either way, it's like the majority of this I'm very happy with. It's working out as expected. I put in what I get out, or I get out what I put in. Either way, it's not perfect. But you're like, that's unrealistic. To expect it to be perfect is unrealistic. You seem to be in that boat, which makes best sense to me right now. You know, to expect something or to strive for perfection, it's okay to try to make things better, but to expect things to be lined up perfectly, right in order all the time, that's unrealistic. And you seem to be right on point with that. Like, you know what? It is good. Not everything is going as it should, but when does life do that? Life doesn't really do that. You're doing well with the situation. So, and I feel like the situation when you're coming, well, the situation normally just seems to go on its own power, just seems to propel normally forward. For the most part, it's good. There's its hang-ups, but again, in the way you're looking at it, you're very realistic. You're like, yeah, so what? Nothing is going to be perfect, and what's not perfect, I can deal with. I see it coming, I know how to handle it. It's fine. So the situation seems to be kind of like autopilot. I feel like it just kind of sustains itself. You just keep doing the same thing. The things around you are pretty much in the same type of category all the time. So as this keeps going forward, externally a change is happening. And I'm getting boundaries, and it's coming up into the situation itself with how you're connecting to it as the World card. Somebody's changing things. And it's like, when I'm getting boundaries, if I just do this card by itself, I feel like somebody's like, they're making changes in their own life. Whether this is family or work, whatever you're dealing with, and it could be something else for you totally, but you know what that is. They're making, somebody who's a component to whatever the situation this is, and I'm getting for most of you, it's either family or work. Somebody's making changes in their own personal life. They're making big changes. And they're blocking off, like, if it's a family connection, like, they're not, like, they're blocking something off. It's like they're not including everybody else in their change. It's like it's going to go on for them, something that's going to affect them, and it may actually remove them, maybe not completely, maybe, it depends. The change that they're making, there's a boundary. There's like this. It's blocking them off. It feels kind of like they're going off to the side. It's like they're fading away. They're removing themselves. Even if it's family, it's like they're not connected as much as they usually would. For some of you, it's like somebody is divorcing another person or something like that. There's a person fading out. There's a person fading back. They're making changes. They're going in their own way, and it's blocking you from being connected with them. And I almost feel like it's blocking them from being connected to the whole. So it's almost like you're a part of a larger group, and this person is pulling out of it. They're not going to really be a part of this group anymore. And that's creating the world. Like, that's making a big change. Even if they seem like a smaller piece, their complete removal from this is changing the dynamic. It's either one of two things. Other people have to compensate for this difference, or somebody else will be making up for that difference. Somebody else will be added in. One way or another, this dynamic is going through a major shift, is what I'm getting. You got the World card. This is definitely going to impact the dynamic of everybody and how everybody works together. You've got 2 cards on your side. After this happens, somebody else is making their choice, whether it be family, work, or something else. Somebody else is choosing. I feel like they're completely removing themselves from it. For the most part, it's completely removing. Their dynamic, how they factor in, is completely different. You've got pleasure and acceptance coming in together. I'm getting, again, you seem to have this very realistic look at this. Kind of like, the way you're looking at it is like, well, that's their choice. Whether I like it or don't like it, whether I agree with it or don't agree with it, it's kind of moot. Doesn't matter how my opinion doesn't matter in the sense of like it's not going to change where we're going with this situation. It's good to have an opinion, you know what your opinion is, but pushing it forward or trying to get it out there, you're like, my opinion is not going to change what this other person is doing. And I know that because it's almost like a done deal. And when you got the pleasure with the acceptance, once you accept that they've made their choice, you're going back to this energy of kind of like, yeah, things aren't perfect, but things are still really good. The situation is still really good. It's kind of throwing things up. I mean, I'm not really sure I really want it to happen or wanted it to happen, but when you accept it, you're released from it. And I know this says pleasure, but that person on there, this looks like release. It looks more like release to me. It just tends to feel that way for me. And it's kind of like you're feeling better because you're just kind of like, yeah, that's their ball of wax. That's what they got to do. The situation is not tanked. It's going to be different, but it's still going to be good. Now, there's a lot going on around it here. It seems like, what do you call this, a mass exodus? I don't want to say it's a mass exodus. I don't think that's fair. But other people are going to consider the same route. Whatever situation it is, and for some of you it's family, and I feel like you might not be seeing this, this person stepping away and backing off and making distance, they might just be the first of a few people that do this. But this is all face down, which is telling me you're not seeing this behind the scenes. Other people are considering walking away. Other people are looking at options. Other people are researching things. They're evaluating what they like. They're evaluating what possibilities they could have. It's like even though they like what they have, maybe there's better things out there for them. And people are deciding whether they want to go or not. People are looking into their options. Because of this, other people are looking into their own options. It's all face down in the reading like this, which means you're not seeing it, but it's something you should be aware of. Other people are looking into options, which I feel like this is almost like giving you permission. Which, you know, it's up to you if that's how you feel about it. But it's almost like other people are looking into options. Why shouldn't you look into options too? Nobody says anybody has to take any of these options, but maybe you want to see what's out there for you too, whatever the situation is. Because I feel like this is inspiring other people. This situation is inspiring other people to just see what possibilities are in front of them. And it's kind of like revitalizing the choice. Choosing to be a part of their current situation or choosing to go somewhere else. Whichever way they make their choice, they'll be stronger with that. And a lot of people are going to choose to stay with this situation, but it's kind of like when you choose to stay, you become more invested. You become more invigorated in doing things with it and making it more optimal. So I feel like this could bring a very strong surge forward and bring this situation up a level that maybe not be expected. So it's like people have to choose. I feel like people are re-choosing, and I feel like they're saying you doing that yourself and looking at your own options, and if you choose to stay a part of it, like actively choosing, and this is why you choose to stay with this, it just seems to reinforce things. It makes things better. It's almost like a self-audit moment is kind of what I'm feeling. The Five of Swords at the end is telling me the situation is not going to be any better or worse in the long run. If more people go, other people will take the place of those people. Either that or it'll just get kind of dispersed around. If it's not going to destroy the situation, it's not going to make it any better, it's not going to make it any worse in the long run, whatever the situation is. the core of the situation will survive as it has been. It's like this Page of Pentacles energy does survive. If more people do leave, and I feel like that might be the big worry here when you see other people and you're wondering if they're going to leave too. If they do, the situation will still be okay. It's not going to go up a level or down a level in the long run. Your connection to it seems to be the same. Other people might get more invigorated. The situation literally might go up a level. Like, for example, if there's more connections or more possibilities, more, like if it's a family thing, more get-togethers. If it's a business thing, things might be a little bit more lucrative, a little bit more business coming in. But the situation itself, how it feels for you, what you do, how you connect to it, it's not going to be any better or worse in the long run. Things have to resettle, but once they're resettled, you're going to be right back to where you were. You're going to feel the same in the future as you have in the past. It's on its even keel. You're still happy with it. You're still good. It's not perfect, but you're not expecting it to be. It's kind of like nothing gained, nothing lost. But there might be a little bit of like a rocky road here, like wondering what's going to happen. It might make you a little uncomfortable, which is why I feel like the whole thing about this is like the acceptance and, you know, the pleasure, I feel like, is releasing it. Just realizing other people are making their decisions and not being worried about what other people are doing, possibly looking into your own possibilities. But either way, you're going to be fine. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.